Germany, 1933. A nation humiliated by defeat, fractured by fear, searching for answers in the wreckage of its own past. Crowds gather in the streets, not for war, but for certainty. For someone to explain why everything has gone wrong. Adolf Hitler offers them an answer. He does not speak first of camps or killing. He speaks of enemies. Of betrayal. Of a hidden force, blamed for defeat, decay, and decline. He names the Jews, not as neighbors, not as citizens, but as a threat. What begins as words becomes law. What begins as exclusion becomes persecution. And what begins as an idea will end with the destruction of an entire people. This is not a story about madness alone. It is a story about belief, how it spreads, how it hardens, and how it turns fear into policy. To understand one of the greatest crimes in human history, we must confront a question that is both simple and terrifying. Why did Adolf Hitler choose the Jews? Because the answer reveals not only who he was, but how such a catastrophe became possible at all. Our story takes place in Europe between the end of World War I and the end of World War II. It centers on Adolf Hitler, an Austrian-born veteran who rose from obscurity to become dictator of Nazi Germany. The consequences of his beliefs reshaped the world, destroyed entire communities, and left scars that remain today. To understand why Hitler targeted Jews, we must look beyond hatred alone. We must examine ideology, fear, political ambition, and a society searching for someone to blame. Germany in 1918 was a defeated nation. The war was lost. The Kaiser abdicated. The economy collapsed. The Treaty of Versailles imposed severe penalties, territorial losses, military restrictions, and massive reparations. Many Germans felt humiliated, betrayed, and desperate. At the same time, Europe was changing rapidly. Democracy replaced monarchies. Industrialization disrupted traditional life. Old certainties disappeared. In this unstable world, extremist ideas flourished. Anti-Semitism, hostility toward Jews, did not begin with Hitler. It had existed in Europe for centuries, rooted in religious prejudice, economic resentment, and racial pseudoscience. Jews were often portrayed as outsiders, too successful, too influential, too different, regardless of reality. Hitler did not invent these ideas. He weaponized them. Adolf Hitler believed history was a racial struggle. In his worldview, humanity was divided into hierarchies of worth. At the top, he placed what he called the Aryan race. At the bottom, he placed Jews. To Hitler, Jews were not a religious group or a community. They were a conspiracy. He claimed Jews controlled finance, media, communism, and capitalism, contradictory accusations that mattered less than their emotional power. Every German problem could be traced to them. Military defeat. Economic hardship. Moral decline. Political instability. This belief system allowed Hitler to simplify a complex world into a single enemy. And that enemy could not be debated with, only eliminated. Hatred alone does not seize power. Hitler's anti-Semitism became politically effective because it served a purpose. In the early 1920s, Germany was deeply divided. Communists, conservatives, liberals, and nationalists fought for control. Hitler offered unity through exclusion. By blaming Jews, he avoided confronting deeper structural failures. He redirected anger away from elites, institutions, and himself. Anti-Semitism became a tool of mobilization. It created a clear us versus them narrative. Loyal Germans versus internal enemies. National rebirth versus decay. Order versus chaos. Once Hitler became chancellor in 1933, these ideas moved from speeches to law. The persecution of Jews did not begin with mass murder. It began with isolation. Jewish professionals were dismissed from jobs. Businesses were boycotted. Children were excluded from schools. In 1935, the Nuremberg laws stripped Jews of citizenship and banned marriage between Jews and non-Jews. Each step normalized exclusion. Each law tested how far society would go, or how little it would resist. Many Germans did not actively support violence, but they accepted the benefits of silence: new jobs, seized property, social conformity. Persecution became policy. Policy became routine. World War II marked a turning point. As Germany expanded eastward, millions of Jews came under Nazi control. The regime now faced a question it had long postponed: what to do with them? Early plans focused on expulsion and forced relocation. These failed. As the war intensified, and Germany's situation worsened, Hitler's worldview hardened. Radical solutions replaced temporary measures. Violence escalated systematically, driven by ideology, bureaucracy, and fear of defeat. Historians debate how directly Hitler ordered the Holocaust, but the outcome reflects his beliefs unmistakably. The destruction of European Jewry was not an accident. It was the logical conclusion of a worldview that defined Jews as an existential threat. Hitler was not alone. Millions participated, actively or passively. Why? Some believed the ideology. Some feared punishment. Some sought advancement. Many simply adapted. The Holocaust reveals not only the danger of hatred, but the danger of indifference. Evil did not require constant cruelty. It required compliance. The Holocaust destroyed centuries-old communities across Europe. It reshaped international law, leading to the concept of crimes against humanity. It altered global politics, accelerating the creation of Israel and redefining human rights discourse. And it forced humanity to confront a terrifying truth. Modern, educated societies are not immune to mass violence. Historians continue to debate key questions. Was the Holocaust planned from the beginning, or did it evolve? How much autonomy did lower officials have? Could it have been stopped earlier? What is not debated is responsibility. Hitler's ideology set the direction. The Nazi state provided the machinery. Society provided the space.